All right, we're live at RadioDays in Athens, Greece. It's Tom from Radio Express. I host the UK chart, and we have another interesting conversation for you, learning all about things AI with Idan from AudioStack. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So first of all, introduce us to AudioStack for anyone watching or listening right now that isn't yet familiar.
So AudioStack is the leading enterprise startup company that creates audio commercially grade ads for the largest players in the world. From companies from Germany through France to Spain to the United States, we empower broadcasters, advertisement agencies, the biggest in the world, to create audio ads from A to Z, from uploading a product brief or just an idea to a fully edited commercial with radio grade voice and music overlay.
So this is like a way that AI and radio and the audio industry are coming together. There's some people who maybe don't have a full understanding yet, that are maybe slightly wary of AI, and that's just like maybe wary of the unknown. But this is where the two are coming together successfully and in a very sort of succinct way, right?
Yeah, that's a very good point. We've seen the entire industry, especially the audio industry, moving towards AI in the recent years. I think like some sorts of advertisement, the future of advertisement is personalization, localization, right? Because you sell better when you target your messaging. Audio has been left a bit behind. I think one of those reasons is just some old-fashioned aspects of the industry, but we are moving there. We see with smart advertisement and dynamic content being produced an opportunity to introduce those cutting-edge tools to broadcasters, to advertisement agencies, creative agencies, and we see how well it goes. Because and especially, by the way, with sales teams, the most easiest example of them all, in a radio station, a salesperson that wants to give an example to our clients how an ad would sound, instead of going back and forth to the producer, to the announcer, spending a lot of time and money and creating an ad that might in the end would never go out, he just types a prompt and he gets 3 ads within a minute or 2. Mm-hmm. And this is the future of audio, and we provide that on scale.
So this is like quite a big change that's maybe happening in the radio industry, but that's not something to be scared of. Talk to us about how like your involvement in AudioStack is, because maybe it's not a job that existed however many years ago before the company, right?
Yeah, correct. So we consolidate a lot of leading AI tools into one, including some of our own, and we enable all of these players to create these amazing contents. With that, of course, comes a fear, as you said, the fear of the unknown. And we mitigate that by being on the forefront of ethical usage of AI, and this is important to deal with and to proactively engage with. AudioStack is a part of the Content Authenticity Initiative, together with companies like NVIDIA and Microsoft, and we have just partnered with the University of Cambridge and issued a white paper, which I left you a copy here, and we'll make sure it's available online, that elaborates very, very deeply on how to do it. And the gist of it is, the voices are owned by the people who own the voices, by yourself, by myself. We would never clone a voice, and yes, clone voices is something that happens today. We enable announcers, we enable talent to be everywhere at any point of time and to have their voice available, but we do it with consent and with the right commercial agreement. As well as music, and this is a very big concern in today's world. Music is being sampled without permission. Music is being used without permission. Everything that AudioStack does, and this is important for us being a groundbreaking enterprise tools, which means large companies that do not want to get in any legal trouble, of course, are doing. We make sure that everything is commercially great, whether legally or technically.
This is the thing, right? So because you want to be doing it in an ethical way, in a moral way, where all the rights are protected, and this is all being done, I guess, sort of like for the first time. Like you're writing the script on how this is going to be used going forward, and it's all a big journey of discovery. Is that fair to say?
It's a journey of discovery, and it's a very interesting one because, like with anything in the world, and especially technology, there is some sorts of a race between the companies that are leading it and the governments, right, the legislators. And as you see the world today, we are in March of 2025 while we record this. The US has very general, broad legislation on how to use AI, what's allowed, what's not allowed, but the Europeans are in the forefront of this. We are very, very close with the European legislation of how to use AI. We try and provide as much as information to our clients, to our audience, of what is ethical use of AI, and we stay on the forefront. So we just make sure that everything is as legit as possible, and we follow. And we try to be also very proactive. So we are part of this authenticity initiative, but we're also trying and get in touch with the Europeans broadcasting organizations to make sure that everything is supposed to be, and we try to be as transparent with our clients, with the legislator as possible, to make sure that everybody's aware.
Are you seeing sort of like a change in attitudes as you talk to, at events such as RadioDays Europe? You meet different clients or radio stations or whoever it might be. Are you seeing a change in opinions and reactions?
The short answer is yes. The long answer is hell yes. I think that when you see the reaction to AI across industries, but especially radio, in the past years, everybody one of the big things on a radio station is stability. You want the system is stable, it's standalone or connected to the internet, so nothing could hurt it. But now we can see this opening up. A lot of radio stations have systems that are cloud-based, and we see that now with generative AI. And I think it's a combination of a lot of people that were afraid, or the word AI seemed too big for them 2-3 years ago. Everybody has now ChatGPT. People no longer search on Google, they prompt. Right, the world has changed, and it's coming to audio, it's coming to radio, and it's coming to broadcast, and that's amazing.
It's about how we all adapt with it, to use it to help us do our jobs, right? Rather than, AI is going to replace my job and I'm not going to be needed. No. It's about how we harness the power of it to help us do what we do, but better.
I agree. My personal view is, look, a lot of companies, a lot of talent, a lot of producers see AI, and some of our clients are massive clients, and we come and their creative team sometimes says, "Ooh, is this going to steal my job? Am I less incentivized to help with that process?" But the truth is they start using it, they just work less time and they become more productive. We enable radio stations and broadcasters around the world to not create one advertisement, but 1,000 in one click. 1,000 different advertisements that are adapted to either your location or the weather. So now when you hear a commercial for a car brand or even a huge brand like McDonald's, you would have the entire ad, but in the end or in the beginning, it will be adapted to the weather. Hey, it's raining today. Why don't have a warm cup of coffee? Or just go to the nearest McDonald's to your house. And this is something that is amazing. It was something that was not feasible or possible before. So we're not trying to change or steal jobs from anybody. We're trying to make what was impossible until today very possible.
It's hard to get your head around the scale of that.
The scale is incredible, and it's very hard to explain what once you see it, and it's already there, right? It's not a concept, it's not wishful thinking. It's something that we do today, and we're very proud of doing, and we see more and more very large names, as I mentioned before, in this world starting to use systems like AudioStack, and hopefully only AudioStack, to become the world's leading enterprise platform for AI audio creation.
It's enhancing the industry, I think, for sure. How far do you see it going? What's on AudioStack sort of like, goal board of like where you want to take it?
So it's a very interesting question. I think that we would see a world in which more and more percentage of the amount of ads that you hear are generated with AI. Again, it will not replace human beings. I do believe that with content, especially entertainment, it will still be humans. We attract to humans. We take humans as inspiration, and when you consume content, whether it's an ad or whether it's a story, you create it from a person. But once you're able to use AI to save the person's time so they could do something which is more productive, or they can just create more content because the world population is just increasing, right? And you want to create more content for more people, that's the future, and I see tools and features adding every day. And I think the day is near, and it's in many cases with audio already there, that you could not differ between human and machine. It sounds creepy, but in fact, this is where we are going, and the ethical part of it is to make sure that the listeners know what they're listening to, that the talent's intellectual property, our voice, our ideas, they stay ours, and that the listeners know whether they're listening to a human or not. And I think the industry is going into a positive way. Fear is, of course, a part of the process, but we mitigate this with being transparent.
We've already touched on it a little bit, but we're asking everyone a couple of questions to wrap up these conversations here at Radio Days. Firstly, what are you most excited about the radio industry, and what are you most wary, hesitant about in the radio industry?
So it's a very good question. I think what everybody is afraid of is the state of radio, right? Radio is not what it was 10 and 20 years ago. So I think this is an obviously part of fear, because my fear is how would main players in radio will adapt to the new world? How would radio look in not 26, but 2035? How will the players adapt? What would we hear in our car? And so I think this is a kind of concern, whether the main players would keep delivering content which is quality and that we like to listen to in the pace that the world is going to, and the listeners. And I think from the hope, we're getting to a level that you're going to get a message which is just for you. And this is what I see, especially as an AI player in this huge market. You're going to get content that is personalized for you. Not in a creepy way, just you're going to get the ad that is relevant for you. You're going to get the content in 2035. You're going to open up your app in your car, and you're going to get, you won't need to think, oh, what do I want to listen to today? Because the best option would be the first one for you.
It's the kind of thing that you've seen in sort of sci-fi films of the last, 10, 20 years. And then you're saying in the next sort of like 10, 20 years, it's going to be here.
I think much less than that. I think in 2035 it's going to be in every car, in every device. But because AI technology is not something that grows slowly, like we've seen phones shrinking or cars being faster and more efficient. AI technology's growth is exponential. The servers are becoming much more efficient. The chips that processes the complex commands that we give them become more efficient, and with that we're getting just an incredible amount of information that is crunched to us.
Idan, thank you so much. A really fascinating insight into that section of the industry, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back soon with another conversation for you.